No. Hello, John. This is Weiling from.
Table has been known to bring people together from all over the world. And you guessed it. Welcome to this year's World Refugee Day by the Refugee Forum of Los Angeles. Every year on June 20th, World Refugee Day is commemorated by the international community as recognized by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. World Refugee Day is designated to celebrate, honor, and raise awareness for the plight of refugees around the world and efforts to protect their human rights. This year, we are excited to be breaking bread with you all. After all, breaking bread at the table has been known to bring people together from all over the world. And you guessed it, this year's World Refugee Day theme is breaking bread. Today, we have the honor of witnessing Ever Merida and his wife, Adelma de Leon, refugees from Guatemala, sharing the recipe to a traditional meal, garnachas. Join us for this 30-minute cooking demonstration where you'll hear about their personal refugee stories while making garnachas, which is full of complex flavors. Margarita Jimenez with the Department of Social Services will be joining the conversation and will be translating the stories and the cooking instructions from Spanish to English. You've been provided the ingredients list, so we hope you can follow along in your own kitchen or make the delicious meal at a later time. Afterwards, you'll hear from RFLA member organizations on a panel, where you'll learn about resources and tools available to start your own business, information on grants and microloans, and personal finance topics, all followed by a live Q&A. So let's get started. Happy World Refugee Day.
Buenas tardes, señor Ever Mérida y su esposa Edelma de León. Muchas gracias por estar aquí hoy. Estamos muy entusiasmados porque sabemos que nos va a enseñar y demostrar un platillo típico de su país, que es
las garnachas.
Las garnachas. Y este platillo que usted nos va a demostrar, ¿de qué país o el estilo que nos va a enseñar? ¿De qué país
Muy
es?
buenas tardes. Pues para empezar, estamos agradecidos por tomarnos en cuenta. Este platillo es de Guatemala, es original de Guatemala. Es una cultura, una costumbre que usamos los guatemaltecos normalmente cuando hay actividades como ferias patronales, en algunos restaurantes y en cualquier lado, específicamente de la ciudad capital para todo lo que es el suroccidente de Guatemala.
Bueno, muy bonito que se oye, que usted mencionó las fiestas patrias y quizá nos puede decir un poco más, como más al rato, durante que está cuando está cocinando, qué es el entusiasmo sobre este platillo en estas fiestas o en las casas, en los hogares. Ahora, ¿qué ingredientes tiene hoy para su receta?
Los ingredientes que vamos a utilizar es, tenemos para empezar masa allá en Guatemala se le llama masa de nixtamal, hoy vamos a utilizar masa de producto maseca. De eso se preparan las tortillitas que no son grandes, son de un tamaño regular. Allá en Guatemala a eso le llaman pistón. Se hacen los pistones así como una tortilla normal, luego se procesan en un comal para cocerlo. Posteriormente, cuando ya está cocido, se deja que se fríe un poco, luego se procesa a partirlo a la mitad, en cuestión de lo que es la tortilla. Y luego se prepara la carne, que es, en este caso vamos a usar carne molida de res, que va condimentada con su sal, consomé de pollo y ajo, cebolla, y se le da sus sabores, ¿verdad? Sus olores, se puede echarle hojitas de laurel, a manera de que entre más olores lleva, más rico se siente.
Se oye. Bueno, vamos, si nos puede demostrar, empezamos con los vegetales. ¿Cuáles son? Y la cantidad, por favor.
Esto va a ser para la salsa. La salsa es lo que lleva en la parte de arriba, ya cuando la tortilla está ya preparada, esto se pasa a una sartén a freír y ya cuando está frito, cuando ya está preparada la carne, luego se procesa, se le echa la salsa que ya está procesada.
Nos va a enseñar
paso a paso.
en un momento, pero primero explíquenos
la
cantidad.
La cantidad. Para este platillo, como es una demostración, se van a usar 4 tomates, la mitad de la cebolla, un chile guajillo, un chile, tengo limpia las manos, un chile guajillo, 2 ajos, una parte, tal vez la mitad de un chile pimiento. Eso es para elaborar la salsa. Eso se pone a cocer con un poco de agua, luego se licúa y ya se vuelve a freír con un poco de aceite, a manera de dejarla un poco espesa.
¿Te gusta empezar?
En el caso del repollo, el repollo se va a partir a la mitad y se va a hacer. Sí. Esto es parte del adorno del platillo.
¿Y este es el repollo?
El repollo. O col. Normalmente se usa este repollo. Hay otro tipo de repollo que es un repollo morado, pero para este platillo se usa más que todo este tipo de repollo. Y este repollo va acompañado con, nosotros preparamos este chile en escabeche, que lleva ajo, lleva cebolla, lleva zanahoria y chile jalapeño.
¿Y es en vinagre blanco?
El vinagre blanco.
¿Le echa sal?
Sí, lleva sal.
¿Y algún otro especie o condimento?
Se lleva también hoja de laurel y comino.
Tomillo. Muy bien. ¿Le dicen ustedes curtido?
Curtido tiene varios nombres. Tiene escabeche, es el nombre común de Guatemala, o curtido también.
¿Y la señora Delma la está picando finita o o menos?
Fino.
Fino. Mientras que la señora Elena está picando el repollo, ¿cómo va a cocinar los tomates? ¿Los va a hervir?
Estos se van a hervir con un poco de agua, de manera de que se cosa con la parte de la cebolla, el chile. El chile es más que todo para darle color, para que salga rojo.
¿Desde qué edad aprendió a hacer este platillo? Los dos. ¿Desde qué edad empezaron a hacer a cocinar?
Fíjese que esto, al menos yo desde pequeño, mi señora madre, que en paz descanse, ella nos enseñó a cocinar desde pequeños. Ella pues tenía pasión por la cocina, a pesar de que no tenía gran estudio, pero sí a ella le gustaba y le daba un toque especial a la comida. Y tenía variedad de platillos. Y ella hacía para vender. Para vender. Se precalienta el agua para poder apagar el fuego.
¿Cómo se dice? ¿Apagar?
Apagado. Es una ¿cómo puedo explicar mejor? No es cocerlo, solamente ablandarlo.
Y entonces, ¿qué es lo que incendió su pasión en la cocina?
Como desde pequeño empezamos a practicar y nos dimos cuenta que también era una forma de poder sobrevivir, ¿verdad? Y de ahí nació la idea de poder vender. En Guatemala se dicen enrolladas, pero yo sé que en México y la cultura aquí en Estados Unidos son enchiladas, son tortillas precisamente también con carne y con mole poblano. Guatemala está, sabemos de que colinda con México, entonces tiene bastante cultura, se mezclan las culturas en cuestión de comida y es muy común el mole poblano también en Guatemala, ¿verdad? Que es un platillo de México,
Sí,
de Puebla. Y entonces ella pues vendía garnachas y vendía enrolladas o enchiladas de mole poblano. Sí, y hoy en día en Guatemala es común encontrar restaurantes que venden, allá en Guatemala le llaman media cena. Y uno cree que por decir media cena es algo pequeño, no. Es que lleva garnachas, lleva enrolladas poblanas, lleva una parte de pollo frito y sofríen tomate, papas y un plato muy decorado, muy rico.
una cena muy completa.
Una cena muy completa. Que se la pueden comer, si se le llama media cena, pero se puede comer a cualquier hora.
Sí.
Solamente es el nombre. Al decir media cena, uno asimila que puede ser solamente de noche y no. Se puede ser a cualquier hora del día, pero es el nombre del día.
Y ahora la señora Elena está rayando una zanahoria solamente. ¿Va a rayar?
Sí, solo una.
Y ese también se va.
Sí.
Eso es parte del adorno del.
También se va a poner en el agua media caliente.
Sí.
Es una zanahoria grandota, ¿verdad?
Sí, había una zanahoria.
Un buen tamaño. Y ahora, con la cantidad que está haciendo hoy, ¿como para cuántas garnachas estaría?
Aproximadamente para unas 25 garnachas.
25. Entonces, si es familia de 4,
Se puede,
alcanza bastante.
sí, porque normalmente una porción de garnachas lleva para que uno quede satisfecho de unas 6 a 8 tortillitas.
Muy bien. Y se va a añadir, la señora quiere añadir
¿Sal?
al agua. Más o menos cuántas sal.
Más o menos como la mitad de una cuchara. Una cuchara sopera.
Cada sopera. Ok. tablespoon de sal. Una buena cuchara.
A ver,
grande. Y entonces, ¿quién le enseñó en sí su mamá? ¿Ese platillo?
sí, mi mamá.
Que paz descanse.
Para descanse nos enseñó a mis hermanos y a nosotros a cocinar desde pequeños, ¿verdad? Que le ayudaran. Y poco a poco fuimos descubriendo que sí podía.
Muy rápido, ¿verdad? Ya está hirviendo.
Ya estoy bien.
Entonces, mientras
Solo
Se apaga.
solo se apaga y
está poniendo aquí para trasladar
Para tragarlo
a la
a
olla.
la olla.
para que le dé color.
¿Y más o menos cuánto tiempo?
Ahí fue tardar unos 5 minutos
No, sí.
para que logre ablandar para que ablande la verdura. Luego venimos y vamos a procesar a cocer la carne. La carne lleva lo mismo, se pone en una olla a calentar el agua y luego se deja caer. A eso ya se le agrega ajo, cebolla para darle sabor y sal al gusto. Y ahí se le puede agregar también el consomé de pollo. ¿Sí?
Fíjese que
Luego venimos y vamos a procesar a cocer la carne. La carne lleva lo mismo, se pone en una olla a calentar el agua y luego se deja caer. A eso ya se le agrega ajo, cebolla para darle sabor y sal al gusto. Y ahí se le puede agregar también el consomé de pollo. ¿Sí?
fíjese que
Mientras que la señora Delma está viendo el paquete de carne molida, díganos de nuevo, ¿le va a echar aquí en el agua alguna otra especie?
Sí, se le va a aplicar sal, cebolla y ajo.
Ya.
Y sí, también se le puede poner una hojita de laurel para darle olor.
Ese olor.
Consomé para darle sabor.
Y aproximadamente vi que son 2 cucharas soperas que le echó de sal.
sí,
Sí,
como también esto después se prepara mejor con el queso y agarra más sabor. Vamos a buscarle cebolla para echarle a la carne.
¿Y que va a ser en rodajas o picadita?
Picadita.
Picadita.
también vamos a ponerle, a agregarle 2 ajos. Van a pelar. Los ajos iban enteros.
Sí.
Se le agrega de una media cucharada a una cucharada de consomé.
Cebolla picada.
Es cierto, vamos a guisarla, ¿verdad? Sí, la carne molida. Muy bien, excelente. Tener, señor Ever, aquí tienen. Se oye muy bien a tener una alternativa al freír, que es mejor
Mejor
cocinar.
Sí.
Y aquí le va a poner
El consomé.
más o menos a media,
Como
a
media.
una cuchara.
De media una cucharada, dependiendo de la cantidad de carne que vayamos a preparar.
Me gusta demostrarle el frente de su consomé.
Este consomé es un producto guatemalteco. es muy común en Guatemala y pues aquí se puede conseguir en algunos supermercados y como es conocido ya para nosotros, sabemos qué sabor da, por eso lo elegimos, sin hacer publicidad.
Sí. ¿Y qué si no pueden encontrar esa marca? ¿Pueden usar como por ejemplo el Nord?
Se puede usar el Maggi.
Ese allá.
Sí.
Aquí voy a preparar rica en cuestión de comida. Hay varios platillos que sobresalen allá en Guatemala para épocas especiales o para cualquier época del año que a la gente se le antoje hacer en sus casas o como venta. Esa carne con cebolla se revuelve, que es lo que lleva arriba de la tortilla. Es la tortilla, parece que ella va a hacer una demostración con un poquito de masa, cómo es que se pueden elaborar las tortillas. Solo una demostración porque las tortillas ya las traemos ya.
Se llaman tortillas aunque no están delgaditas.
Aunque no sea delgada, le decía
no son gorditas,
no, son tortillas.
Pistón
Le decía a un principio que es el nombre que se le da, que esto viene y normalmente viene y se parte a la mitad. Está partida a la mitad. Normalmente, ya cuando está el sartén ya con aceite caliente, se le dejan caer un par de ajitos para que el sabor del aceite tome otro sabor en el ajo. Luego viene y se empieza ya, ese es el proceso ya cuando ya se está formando el platillo. Se empieza cociendo con la carita para abajo. Y ya cuando ya... Ajá, y luego ya cuando está cocido se le da vuelta a la tortilla y ahí es donde ya se le va colocando, en este caso, la carne molida, ya cocida con cebolla picada. Y luego, cuando ya la salsa ya está preparada, a la tortilla con carne se le aplica ya la salsa. Y por último, se le deja caer queso seco.
¿Es tipo cotija?
Este es cotija. Pero allá en Guatemala hay otras marcas, sí. O es más rico el artesanal, sí. El que hacen en casas.
Voy a colar. Y eso fue aproximadamente unos 10 minutos.
Como 10 minutos.
No demasiado
para que no se cosa.
Sí,
muy
precocido.
Ya precocido, ya especialmente para esto ya es el adorno del platillo.
Entonces, y en Guatemala esto se puede comer al mediodía o a la cena.
Es platillo para cualquier. Normalmente las personas lo consumen más en la tarde, ¿verdad? Es la tradición, pero no hay cierto horario para el consumo, ¿verdad? De hecho, si usted va a un lugar donde vendan, aunque sea desayuno, se lo venden como desayuno, que sí está disponible.
Ahorita solo lo van a echar a costar este cosa.
Sí.
Si lo pueden mostrar a la cámara y decir,
vamos a cocer los tomates con el chile guajillo, los 2 ajos, una parte de cebolla y chile pimiento. Esto es para la elaboración de la salsa que lleva encima la garnacha.
4 tomates.
4 tomates, un chile guajillo, 2 ajos, un cuarto de cebolla y una parte de chile pimiento, tal vez la mitad. La cebolla. Vamos a pasar a colocar los tomates. Pues antes de procesar cada producto, pues hay que pasarlo a lavar, ¿verdad?
¿Tiene que estar completamente tapado por el agua?
Pues viera que el agua aquí ya no se utiliza, más que todo solo para cocer.
Para cocer.
Ajá, para que la salsa pueda salir, para que no salga rala, sino que salga espesa. Esto ahorita esperamos a que se cosa. No sé si le echan sal, sí. Eso solamente se cose con sal.
El rabito.
Eso se le puede quitar después, es opcional.
O de la semilla.
Las semillas.
Para que no salga tan picante. ¿Este qué
Sí,
chile guajillo?
Guajillo. Sí, para que no salga picante.
Allá en Guatemala le decimos guaque.
O chile guaque.
Guaque.
Las semillas más que todo se quitan para que no salga picante, así como ustedes decían. De hecho, hay salsas que se le puede echar a picar el chile también, de otro tipo de chile, ¿verdad? Para que vaya picosita. Pero normalmente esta salsa se hace sin picante. Es opcional, pues ahí es cuestión de gusto, ¿verdad? Si usted lo adquiere con más colores, le puede aplicar más cosas, pero normalmente esa es la tradición. Esa es la tradición de la.
Entonces, ¿usted conoció a su esposa desde joven o más?
Sí,
más
tenemos
grande,
33 años de casados.
Felicidades.
Tenemos cuatro hijos, 3 varones, una mujer. Sí, y que nos conocimos en Coatepec, en Santelán.
Felicidades, son una pareja que se comparte muy bien en la cocina, que se hacen compañía cocinando, porque a veces somos demasiados en la cocina, estorbamos, pero ustedes son muy buen equipo para cocinar. Muy bonito.
Gracias.
Sí, muy bonito. Y entonces, ya que hoy esta se va a cocer el jitomate, ¿como cuánto tiempo diría?
Es más que todo al ojo, ya cuando haya reventado el tomate.
Ahorita vamos a hacer el cuánto tiempo.
Sí, es cuestión de estar viendo a manera de que cuando ya el tomate ya está reventado, enseña tu así.
Sí, sí. La carne que está
La carne,
cociendo, ¿a qué le hicieron?
solamente se le va dando alguna pequeña vuelta. Esta ya va a estar.
A veces yo digo, no hay nada como la plancha, ¿verdad? Como para un platillo, si uno quiere ser vegetariano, quizás se puede hacer con soya remojada. ¿Usted cómo diría? Si no quiere comer carne, ¿qué se pudiera comer a la plancha?
Con demás, por ejemplo, o soya, sí podría ser. Pero fíjense que si usted lo hace de esta manera, si se da cuenta que sí, la grasa se está eliminando. La única forma, aquí lo único donde se va a usar aceite es porque la ley se tiene que freír las tortillas. Pero igual el aceite queda, porque solamente es para freír el aceite.
Sí, eso queda.
Sí.
Muy rico, que huele todo.
Ya eso ya va dando olor y ya al final es donde ya produce más.
Sí, más
olor.
Bueno, voy a echar
La carne ya está cocida. La carne ya está cocida, entonces igual que se hizo con el fuego, se pasa a escurrir para dejarla seca.
Y después de la salsa ya no le van a hacer nada.
A esta ya no,
Ya, ok.
esa ya está preparado. Eso es
Ok.
como un pequeño curtido, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Venimos y venimos y la vamos a colar para que escurra toda la agua.
Se me hace parece muy interesante así, cocer la carne en vez de freírla. Muy
Sí.
buena idea.
No, y viera que no
aprendí-
pierde sabor.
Algo que aprendí hoy. Y ahí se escurre toda la grasa.
Ahí se corre la grasa, ya queda solo la carne.
Perfecto. Y aquí puso agua, como media taza.
Sí.
Media taza de agua y ahora la harina
Aquí
de...
solo como dos vamos a hacer dos pistaches.
Y esta es harina de maíz.
Sí, harina de maíz.
Y ahí puso más o menos una taza de maseca.
Aproximadamente.
Aproximadamente. Y ahí le va a estar jugando, ¿verdad?
Ajá, manera de dejarla
La
ya
consistencia.
masa, ya como una masa normal.
Pero le voy a echar.
Se le va mezclando agua a manera de que le dé la textura de la masa.
De la masa. ¿Y usted aprendió a hacer tortillas o a cómo amasar desde chiquita
Sí, desde
o ya de grande?
No, chiquita.
¿Cómo cuántos años?
8 o 10 años.
8 o 10 años.
Ajá. Es que como ahí donde nosotros, o sea, donde yo crecí, mi mamá ponía maíz, iba a moler y ya de ahí me enseñaba a hacer tamalitos o tortillas.
Es otra de las tradiciones de Guatemala, el tamal de masa, tamal simple, que solamente se puede envolver con hoja de milpa. La hoja verde de milpa, que cuando la milpa está antes de que empiece a florear, antes de que salga el elote, esa hoja es una hoja muy delgada, pero allá en Guatemala más que todo las mujeres tienen la habilidad de poder envolver y hacer tamales de hoja de milpa, que pueden hacer también, no sé si usted conoce los chuchitos, los chuchos.
Se me ve el conocido.
Ahí hacen chuchos, pueden hacer tamales de chipilín, o hay variedad de tamales, pero también sirve para hacer tamal simple, así como ver la mezcla que está haciendo ella. Y también hay hoja de plátano, que es la común aquí en Estados Unidos, y hay una hoja que se llama hoja de sal, es una hoja grande, que hay gente que se dedica a cultivar ese producto, porque ahí es donde también se puede elaborar el tamal de carne. Hay una hoja que se llama hoja de machán, no sé en qué dialecto esté dicho, pero es uno de los dialectos de Guatemala. Le quería contar que Guatemala cuenta con 23 dialectos. Es un país tan pequeño, pero que tiene varios idiomas en el país, todos de origen maya, y también cuenta con la lengua garífuna y la xinca. Son como aproximadamente de 23 a 25 dialectos. Entre esos está el mam, el pompomán, el cachiquel, el piché. Son los que yo recuerdo. El piché. Ya el tomate ya casi está. Se toma la bola.
La cantidad de su
Sí,
palma.
ajá, porque yo calculo que se llene así. Dando vueltas.
Para que vaya a gran forma
Ajá.
redondita primero.
Sí. Ya de ahí le voy a
Se va aplastando.
ya se va
Va formando la orilla.
formando, ajá, para que dé opción a
Porque yo cuando he intentado de hacer así como nosotros hacemos gorditas. Pues,
Casi es similar a la.
a mí siempre se me quiebran en las orillitas, pero usted voy viendo que le va dando fuerza, ¿verdad?
se le va pasando.
También muy rico la masa. Oiga, aquí le va a poner en su sartén.
No hay comal,
Es
pero
que como
no trajimos comales, sí se puede fabricar también.
Pero no le pone nada de.
No, solamente
Sí, es como si
es
fuera
una tortilla normal.
al comando.
Las tortillas ya están cocidas, o más bien semicocidas, ya listas para que se fríen.
Rico, ¿verdad? le salió bonito, no se ve gracioso. Esto lleva bastante cebolla, pero
Al gusto, ¿verdad? Antes de licuar, el jitomate le puede licuar. ¿Esto quiere que se vaporice un poco o va a pasar un poco tiempo?
Poco tiempo que se vaporice un poquito, pero no es mucho. Aquí prácticamente solamente que hierva un poquito. Ya queda preparada la salsa. Y al final de cuentas esto es parte del adorno del platillo.
And we're back. We hope you enjoyed the cooking demonstration with Ever Morita and his wife Adelma de Leon. I know I can't wait to make garnaches at home. It was so spectacular to hear their personal stories, all while cooking a traditional dish from back home. This year, we chose breaking bread as our theme because food is comfort, it's family, it's a sense of home and belonging. Here in the United States, we want to ensure that newcomers, refugees, and new Americans all feel welcome and at home. President Jimmy Carter signed into law the Refugee Act of 1980, which created the Federal Refugee Resettlement Program to provide the effective resettlement of refugees and to assist them to achieve economic self-sufficiency as quickly as possible after their arrival in the United States. Now, the Board of Supervisors of Los Angeles County applauds the vital efforts of refugee resettlement agencies and refugee-serving community-based organizations and the county departments. These organizations and departments programs are fundamental to refugees' successful transition to their new homeland. Regardless of their sacrifices and challenges, refugees accomplish to make economical contributions and enrich the cultural fabric of Los Angeles County. Therefore, I'm excited to announce that the Board of Supervisors recommits to proclaiming June 2021 as the Refugee Awareness Month in Los Angeles County. As we talk about self-sufficiency in the United States, we know that the process is complex as there's so many systems to navigate. Fortunately, today, we have experts from the Refugee Forum of Los Angeles member organizations here to discuss different resources and tools, including how to start your own business, information on grants and microloans, and personal finance topics. So grab your pens, your notepads, and make sure to take notes as you'll learn about how to make sure that you'll become more self-sufficient in the United States. And remember, it'll be followed by a live panel and to answer any questions that you have. So let's go ahead and get started.
I welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us celebrating together the World Refugee Days of 2021. My name is Wai-Ling Chin. I'm with Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment. I am the business counselor at our Business Development Center. Today, I'd like to share a little bit with you about PACE, or Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment. We are a nonprofit organization founded in 1976. Our mission is to create economic solutions in environment, energy, education, housing, assistance, employment, and business development. At our energy department, we provide assistance to the community to apply for energy assistance, bill payment assistance, weatherization, and energy-related home repair. Our employment objective is to help individuals to find a job and to create economic stability in the family. In our education department, which is the early childhood education, Head Start, we provide early childhood education, health, developmental, mental health, nutrition, social service, and disability services, as well as family-focused programs to empower and strengthen the whole family. Finally, our Business Development Center is to provide assistance to small businesses and provide counseling, technical assistance, access to capital, credit building, and many, many more. And my focus today is talk about why starting a business. Many individuals come, they want to start a business for many reasons. The main 4 reasons is freedom. You want to have control and to do what you want to do best, and or maybe you enjoy it the most. Secondly is if you have a business, your income, your money, all the money that you make, it actually you are the one that reaping it. So next one is creativity. When you are working or starting a business as an entrepreneur, you can be creative because you are not restricted in company policy, so on and so forth. Finally is control. You are the boss. You have the most 100% control of what you do and how you do it in your business. The next thing is when you start a business, there are a few things that you need to consider and to make sure that you are on the right track. Is you must know what industry that you are going to get into. Usually is, and you also need to know whether you are providing a service or a product. And typically these are the area where you have experience or you have certification, you have the skill set to do. And You also need to consider whether you want to be a full-time or a part-time business, and how much capital you're willing to risk or you want to invest in your business. It will determine how big is your business or what is the structure of your business when you start it. And finally, whether it's going to be a home base or a storefront. That also determines how much capital you need when you start the business and the type of business entity. Of course, when you start a business, you want to know that you're going to start it small as a sole proprietor, or maybe a S corporation, a C corporation, or a LLC, or a partnership. So all this you need to think about and to consider. Next, besides starting the business, the entity, all the capital, you also need to know who are your target market, what type of industry type that you want to get into, your market segment, who are your competitors, competitors, or your competition in the market, right? And usually we advise our client or the entrepreneur or businesses to do the SWOT analysis. You understand your strength, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And please feel free to contact us. I will leave my contact at the end of my presentation. You can reach out to our counselor. We can walk you through step by step and establish or starting your business or expanding your business. The next is you want to have also a business plan. Yeah. So it usually a lot of people get scared. You say writing a business plan, that is so hard. It's tough because there's so many things to involve. How do I start, right? But actually, a business plan is not that difficult. It's not that hard as you think. At PACE, we provide you a template. You can use the template, answer the question as you go along, step by step. You are actually developing your business plan in a structured manner. So with a business plan, you can see a big picture of what you're doing and how you're going to do it. Plus, the business plan is not a final piece of work. It is dynamic and is constantly changing. And as your business need come along, or your business need to expand, or it's all kind of situation like such as the pandemic, the company business plan might be put in halt for expansion instead of stability and revitalization right now, as we are moving into a yellow zone, right? Now, when you establish a business, you also need to have a legal structure. What kind of legal structure is good for your business? You need to register a company. How you do that? Do you have a professional license, city and state permit and licenses? So, and do you need to use a fictitious name or DBA if you are a sole proprietor, or even a corporation? You might want to have ownership of the name that you are promoting or you're working with. So that is a fictitious name. And finally, what are the government, local and federal or state government regulation? What kind of special permit or license that you need to do depends on the industry that you are in, right? So, and also that is, if you are interested in government contract, that is a certification, business certification, or minority-owned, women-owned, veteran-owned certification, so on and so forth. So this is, I want to just also share with you our Business Development Center. We established in 1993. We operate 2 out of the 9 Los Angeles Business Source Center, and also we are the SBA Women Business Center. We provide help and technical assistance to stabilize the cash flow, expand the businesses, increase profit, and create jobs. We are also a SBA lender and a SBA micro lender, and also a CDFI, which is Community Development Financial Institution. So CDFI is regulated by the US Department of Treasury. We are focused on serving the needs of the underserved business community that they are not able to get traditional and commercial bank product or services. Our goal is to help this group of people or businesses become more financially self-sufficient and contribute more to overall economic growth through the community development. And I also want to stress one thing, that our services are all free. There's no charges. If there are fees, for example, if you are getting a loan, you are paying the fee for the loan, is not paying the fee. So PACE, technical assistance, our counseling one-on-one, we are all free, and also training are free. So this is the overall picture of what PACE Business Development Center do. We provide training, startup workshop, entrepreneurship training. We have a credit building. We also have a procurement bootcamp series that we have added recently, the recent last 2 years. And we also have a one-on-one counseling. We startup assistant, your business model development, business expansion, and credit building. We have a credit building matching grant program to help you build your credit. Lending, as I said, we are SBA micro lender, as SBA CA lender. We do mini micro loan from $5,000 or up or lower. And also we have a CA loan, which is up to $250,000. Due to the pandemic, PACE also developed another disaster loan just to help the businesses that are suffered from the pandemic. And we also have a procurement program, services to help small businesses get certification, develop their capability statement, contract sourcing, RFP, request for proposal, and RFQ, request for quotation, and statement of qualification and personal bid and proposal assistance. Finally, I like to stress, because today is we are celebrating the World Refugee Day. We have a special program for office for the refugee and asylum. So we have 2 special programs. One is called an individual development account. It is a matching grant that is a $2,000 matching grant. Each household can have up to 2 accounts. And we also have a ORR micro enterprise development program. This is a loan program. It also have a credit building loan portion of it. The loan is up to $115,000. And the IDA program, just to give you a little description and background eligibility, it is a matching grant. Participant has to be eligible with their immigration status as refugees or asylee or victims of human trafficking. And there is an objective. When the client save $2,000, they will get a match of $2,000 for a specific saving goal. In this, at PACE, we have 3 specific saving goals. Small business development, you can save the money and use the matching grant as well to develop your small business. You can use it for post-secondary education training or vocational training. You can pay for tuition fee, books, supplies, and equipment. And finally, an automobile. It is for employment purposes only. If you already have the vehicles, unless it is very unreliable and you need to replace it, then that you can use the matching grant for that purpose. There is also another purpose and other agency doing for home purchases, but we are not offering it at PACE. As for the MED program, it's the same. It is for startup and stabilization of the business, and the loan amount is up to $15,000. During this pandemic, we increased it up to $20,000. Currently, the interest rate is 0. It is only temporary due to the pandemic, and the loan terms can up to 5 years, or can be longer, depends on the case-by-case basis. So we will help you to develop your marketing plan, get all your permit license if you don't have that. And the use of fund can be for many purposes: working capital, inventory, supply, furniture, fixture, machinery, tools, etc., etc. And the MED program, as long as you are coming in, you have the status of refugees or asylees or human trafficking, as long as you are not naturalized as a US citizen, you will qualify for this program. And finally, this is my contact, my name, Wai-Ling Chin. My phone number is 213-989-3169, and my email here. And please feel free to visit PACE website, pacela.org, or PACE-LA BDC for Business Development Center.org. We have so many programs that may be able to help your needs. If we cannot serve you, we probably we usually have a purpose that is to refer to you to the partner that we know that can provide you the services or resources. Again, thank you everybody for joining us today and celebrating the World Refugee Day. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Breaking Bread for this year's World Refugee Day. My name is Luke Van Lant. I work with International Rescue Committee here in Los Angeles as Financial Capability Coordinator. And today I'm going to talk more about IRC's work in LA, as well as our economic empowerment programs and how they can help newly arrived refugees to get settled in the city, to start a small business if that is the goal, and in general to become self-sufficient and more financially literate for the United States and the financial system here. International Rescue Committee is a refugee resettlement organization. We have offices all over the world. Here in Los Angeles, in addition to serving recent arrivals, refugees who have just gotten to this city with casework and with getting settled in the first 3 months upon arriving, we also have a range of programs that are open to the broader community. And the two economic empowerment programs that I am involved with are first a free, confidential, one-on-one financial coaching service where and I'll return to this, but going over some of the foundational personal finance topics like budgeting and savings and credit, and also CEO, IRC CEO, which stands for Center for Economic Opportunity. This is our in-house lender, our lending branch at IRC. We provide low interest loans and we are a mission-based lender. And I'm going to talk about what that means and how it can support people who are starting a new life here in the city or in the United States. So CEO, now in the US, there are generally 3 types of lenders. There are unfortunately many predatory lenders, and their goal is to charge as much in interest and fees as possible, and they are not on the side of the borrower. Unfortunately, these lenders tend to exist in and target low to moderate income communities, as well as immigrants to the United States if there is a language barrier or a general unfamiliarity with lending practices and with the system. So there are predatory lenders. There are also the traditional financial services, and there I'm talking about your main banks. I'm talking about Wells Fargo, Bank of America. You can borrow money from the bank. They are a lender, and they are looking at a range of different things. They're looking at credit score, they're looking at your finances, your banking history, and things like that. The third category are other lenders, mission-based lenders. And within this category, there are what are called CDFIs. These are community development financial institutions. Many of these organizations are lenders. They loan money and provide other services like financial coaching and things like this, but they have a mission. They are serving either the low to moderate income households here in LA, or a specific population, a specific demographic of people. IRC CEO is a CDFI, a community development financial institution. There are a lot of really great nonprofits and organizations in Los Angeles that also have a mission to really help the community, but are providing loans and similar kind of services. Many credit unions, which provide the same services generally as banks do, are also CDFIs, and credit unions are nonprofit. So if you are a member at a credit union, you are also part owner of that credit union. Now, as a mission-based lender, CEO is not taking credit history into account for loan decisions. You can come and apply for a loan with IRC CEO if you have bad credit due to something that happened in the past. If you have no credit history because you are a recent arrival to the US or you have never built credit, Instead of credit, what we are looking at is our applicant's budget. We want to see income and expenses. We want to make sure that this loan makes sense, that it isn't going to be a burden for people. And the interest rate that we charge for our loans will never change based on credit history or any, anything that is damaging your credit in your past. Now, to talk a little bit about the range of products that we offer and why they can be important to people who have just arrived to the United States. We offer a 0% credit building loan. This is a ladder loan, so there are 3 levels to it. You start by borrowing $100 that is paid back over 6 months, and each payment is $16.67 with 0% APR, no interest, no fees. What you borrow is what you pay back. If you choose, you can continue and apply for a $300 loan, which is paid back over 8 months, also with 0% interest. And the third level is $1,000 paid back over 20 months. So each payment is $50, also 0% interest. Many of our clients are refugees who have just arrived in the US. They've got their first apartment. They're looking for or have found their first job. And building credit is one of those foundational steps in the US. It can be an asset to have good credit. It can give you more options for finding housing, more options if you need to borrow money, either in an emergency or for a larger financial goal, like buying a car on credit or taking out a home loan to buy a house. But it's something that you have to do over the long term. It takes time to build credit. The credit building loan is a really easy way to get started on this process with a very low monthly payment starting out. And in total, that would be 34 months of on-time payments and positive information going to your credit history. If you combine that with a secured credit card or some other type of what's called revolving debt, let's just say a credit card, in combination, you're going to be able to build credit very quickly, or you're going to be able to build credit at the speed it goes. But over that first year, we have borrowers that achieve a 700 FICO score or higher. So credit building loans are one thing that we offer, and here in Los Angeles, that is our most popular loan product. We also offer auto loan financing and refinancing. So if you have an existing high interest auto loan, you can refinance with us. And again, we are not taking credit history into account for the auto loan. We are purely looking at a budget, income, and expenses. For many of our refugee clients who are applying to work to different jobs, but maybe don't have transportation, they don't have a car yet. If somebody applies for a job, gets the job, they need their own transportation, and there's no easy way to take public transportation there. They can apply for this auto loan using the acceptance letter for this job and get transportation quickly without needing to go through a predatory lender or getting stuck with a high interest rate through a dealership, for example. So the auto loan is another good tool that we have for recent arrivals to the United States. In general, to tie this back to the process of starting your own business or becoming self-sufficient in the United States, and this is where I connect it with financial coaching as well. All of our borrowers for CEO, before applying for a loan, we do some type of credit education, a credit workshop, and we talk about how does credit work in the United States? What are the dangers associated with credit and being in debt? What is the range of FICO scores? How can you access your own credit information, ordering credit reports, things like that. Credit is an asset. If you have good credit, that is an asset. If you have bad credit or are credit invisible and have no credit history, that can be a barrier to achieving certain financial goals. Especially if if starting a business, if starting your own business, people do this generally with a combination of savings and debt. So you do have to borrow some money to start a business. And hopefully you can also bring some savings so that the amount that you have to borrow is lower. There are a lot of mission-based lenders, like I've been talking about in the Los Angeles area, that serve entrepreneurs who are low to moderate income, maybe who are refugees or immigrants living in Los Angeles County. And they are not looking at credit history as much in their loan decision, right? They have a mission and they're providing affordable financing, affordable loans to people who want to start a small business, and often providing counseling, small business counseling alongside that. However, having good credit, a good credit score is an asset. If you need to borrow money, it is easier to do and much cheaper to do with a lower interest rate if you have good credit. Now, borrowing money can also be dangerous, and that is where financial coaching comes in, where we want all of our clients and all of the people that we work with to make wise financial decisions, not just to apply for a loan on a whim. But it is an asset if you are starting a business or in general to have good credit. Building savings as well can make the transition to starting your own business a little bit smoother. And in financial coaching, one of the main things that we talk about is creating a budget on paper with the goal of building savings. Obviously, if you have your own business, there will be some system, some written system for managing the finances, the money for that business. Financial coaching is a way to build that habit, build that muscle of budgeting and maintaining records on paper for your own finances, for your personal finances. If you build that habit, not only will you hopefully build some savings to have as either an emergency fund or savings to start that business, but you are more in the habit of doing that so that when you start your own business, that habit is already in place. So you can use that same habit to run a successful business. And it also helps keep your personal finances for you and your family separate from the business finances, which is also very important. In general, these two programs that we offer for clients in Los Angeles and throughout the United States are a huge asset, especially for people who are recent arrivals in the US, partly because we are not using credit history as part of the decision, but partly because we are really focused on making sure that we are the friendliest lender on the block, being flexible, serving our clients, and providing education on the financial system in the US. We are not here to lend you money and disappear. We are on this walk with you. We want to communicate the context. We want you to know the good, the bad, and the ugly of the financial system in the US, so that you can avoid certain common mistakes, so that you can use credit wisely and build toward a place of self-sufficiency in the United States. So that is just an intro to these programs. If you are interested in signing up for financial coaching or applying for a loan with CEO, or if you just want more information about either of these programs, please reach out to me, Luke Van Lant at International Rescue Committee here in Los Angeles. I'm happy to share more information with you. And I hope that this provides some food for thought and that we can be a resource for you when it comes to achieving your goals, your financial goals in the short and the long term. Thank you all so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And we will hopefully be in touch and be able to serve you in the future.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the cooking show with Chef Ever and his wife Adelma as they showed us how to make Guatemalan garnachas. We also listened to Wei Ling and Luke discuss personal finance topics and how to start your own small business. So we're excited to answer some of your questions in our 15-minute Q&A session. Let's go ahead and do another round of introductions with our wonderful panelists. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Wei Ling first.
Thank you, Anahita. Thank you, and I welcome everybody to the World Refugee Day celebration of Breaking Bread. This is really a very dear to PACE. As PACE established in 1976, we were a refugee resettlement agency back in the 70s, where we have a lot of refugees and from Southeast Asia, Cambodia, Vietnam, and so on. My name is, once again, my name is Wai-Ling Chin. I'm the Business Counselor Manager at PACE Business Development Center. It is my pleasure to be here with you, and I'm looking forward to share more information with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wei-Ling, for that introduction, and we'll go ahead and pass it over to Luke.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. My name is Luke Van Lant. I work with International Rescue Committee here in Los Angeles. We are a refugee resettlement organization. I work as financial capability coordinator, so with our 2 economic empowerment programs. Welcome again to Breaking Bread. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and it's a privilege to be involved with you for this event.
Thank you both so much. Again, really excited to be here. For the folks that didn't get to join us in the beginning, again, my name is Anahita Panahi. I'm the California Refugee Organizer with the We Are All America campaign, also one of the members of the Refugee Forum of Los Angeles. And as you've heard, this year's theme is Breaking Bread. We saw that wonderful cooking demonstration with that traditional dish, and we moved into a discussion around how to become self-sufficient in the United States and how to start a small business, right? I know personal finance topics can be so confusing for refugees and newcomers, and there's so many different avenues to navigate. And we have 2 experts with us here today to answer some of your questions. And we do want to open up the chat. So if you have any questions that are not answered today, you can go ahead and put it into the chat and we will try our best to get to it. So I want to start off with a question to Wai-Ling first. What are the services that you provide at PACE Business Development Center?
That is a great question, but I think it will be easier to have some visual here. I like to share a screen. Okay, would you help me to give me a co-host? That will be great.
Let me see if I have access to, perhaps maybe I can try to see if I can share it.
Well, I think I can do it now. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, great. Yeah, I really appreciate and thank you for this opportunity to share PACE. PACE has so many programs and our services. I thought that it will be much more easier to have a visual to see this chart. So in PACE Business Development Center, we like to call ourselves a one-stop center for the small businesses or entrepreneur. We start from training. If you are in the process of conception process or stage, you want to think about what type of business you want to get into or how you get into. We have a whole series of workshop and trainings that we offer right now. We have a startup workshop for entrepreneurs who are thinking about starting a business. We also have an entrepreneur training program. It's a series. We call it the Express MBA. Once you're done, you know what are the very basic information or things that you need to do, the legally, the business entity to all kind of business license and accounting and all of them on the entrepreneurship training program. By the time you're done with that, you will have, if you do your homework, you will have your business plan. And then we will also understand that businesses, you need to have a good credit, because if you just based on your own saving or capital, you will not be able to grow big. Or maybe there is an opportunity for you to grow and expand, but you need some capital. Just like Luke sharing in his sharing, that credit building is such a important aspect of all small businesses as well as all the individual, because if you are a small business, the credit is based on your personal credit. So we have a credit building program as well. We have a credit building with actually is a matching grant credit building program. And the training also, we just recently, the last 2 years, we expanded into procurement, government procurement, contracting, and so we also have that training specifically for businesses who are interested in government contract and procurement. And then from the training, now you can meet with your counselor on a one-on-one session. Now we go into nitty-gritty, your specific need and your specific question. So we have this startup assistant. From there, we do a business model, your development, and how you're going to operate. If you are in business already, we talk about your business expansion. And at the same time, again, and a business, if you need your credit is not that great, you need to have build your credit. We always in business in PACE, we believe you're building your credit, you are building your asset. So your asset, your credit actually is your asset. And next to it, then when you are establish your business, then you need to get a lending. You need to have some working capital or startup loan. So PACE is a SBA micro lenders. We can do loans as low as 500 to 5,000. That is the mini micro loan. And then under the SBA micro loan, we can do up to 50,000. And because PACE is also a CDFI, a Community Financial Development Institution, we have our in-house loan fund, and we will do the loan up to 250,000. Now, after your lending, again, the lending, the loan, the use of loan fund can be depends on the need of the business. And next to it is the business want to expand the horizon, not just selling and to general public, but they're interested in expanding to getting contract with the government or private sector. Now, if you're going into procurement and diversify and getting contract, you need to understand what are the small business certification and how to develop your capability statement. So the capability statement is just like a resume for your business. And then after that PACE, we also give you counseling on how to source for your contract sourcing. How do you get RFP? How do you get an RFQ, which is request for proposal, request for quotation. And then we also help you in terms of your bid and how to write your bid and submit your bid. And finally, because this is a Refugee Day, I cannot stress less. I keep the best to the last to share with you. We have two very specific programs for the refugees and asylum and the human trafficking individuals. We have a matching grant, it's called an individual development account. Each individual can have up to $2,000, a matching grant, and every household you can have up to 2 accounts, which is $4,000 in terms of the matching grant. When we talk about grant, you do not have to pay back. Grant is not a loan. Grant is like a gift to you to help you in your specific business or asset needs. And then after that, we also, the second program, which is a micro enterprise development, this is a loan, and we will provide you a loan for business purposes. It can be expansion, startup, buying inventory, equipment, so on and so forth. And the loan is up to 15,000, but due to the pandemic, we have raised it up to 20,000. So this is in a very high level and to share with you what we do at PACE. That's why I call it one stop from before you start your business to you expand your business and to even grow your business. And along the way, we give you counseling, we give you access to capital to help to grow and expand your business. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mylene. That information was very valuable, and that visual was also very helpful, and that will be linked within the chat and also sent out in the follow-up so folks can take a look. I also want to pose the same question to Luke. What are briefly some of the services that you provide at IRC for refugees and newcomers?
Absolutely. I'm going to share screen as well, if that's all right. So we have a good visual for it. So again, we are a refugee resettlement organization. And so our bread and butter is providing newly arrived refugees with casework over the first 90 days that they're here in LA. And we have a range of different programs that I'll touch on really briefly here as well. But the two economic empowerment programs that we have are financial coaching and Center for Economic Opportunity, or CEO. For financial coaching, this is a free and confidential service where refugees can speak one-on-one with a financial coach who lives in the same city as them about any topics that they want to focus on. So whatever is going to help our clients in achieving their financial goals, that's what we focus on. And some of those fundamental things are building savings, right? Saving money to achieve those long-term goals, building or rebuilding credit, building good habits with money, and understanding the financial system of the United States for things like taxes, or again, like credit, that tend to get more complicated. In addition to financial coaching, we have Center for Economic Opportunity, which is our lending branch, and we offer low interest loans to low to moderate income households who either have no credit history or they have a low credit score, which makes it hard to borrow from other places. Some of the loan products are credit building loans. We have auto loans, as well as refinancing for existing auto loans, which I talked about in the presentation. We do offer small business loans, as well as personal loans and some other loan products as well. However, for refugees and to fit with the theme for today, our credit building ladder loan is a really useful, safe way to start building credit in the United States. 0% interest. The first loan is only $100 and the payment is $16.67. And as you continue, you can borrow more money while still keeping it at 0% interest. The payment goes up. So for the third one, $1,000, it's $50, but it's still relatively low. However, for folks who have just arrived in the US, a low monthly payment like $16 is something that's relatively easy to fit into a family's budget, and also be putting some good information on one's credit history. Now, the other services IRC offers, immigration services, applying for citizenship, applying for or renewing green card, and more. All of our immigration reps are DOJ accredited and can assist people with those things. We provide casework for unaccompanied children who are seeking asylum here in Los Angeles. Obviously, that has been a big part of the conversation with a lot of arrivals at our southern border and a lot of people seeking asylum. Additionally, refugee resettlement casework for refugees for 90 days upon arrival. And at IRC, we also offer ESL and VESL, which is vocational English classes for people who are looking to improve their English, and particularly for VESL within the context of applying for or finding a job. And we offer citizenship classes for the civics exam as well. If you have any questions, please reach out and get in touch with us about those programs. We have our general office number up here at the top. Or if you're interested in financial coaching or CEO, here's the email address and the phone number that you can reach us at right here. So thank you for taking the time. That's a glimpse at what IRC is involved with in LA. We have a lot of offices all over the country who are assisting refugees in different cities throughout the US as well. So that is it for me. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Luke. Very commendable. I know IRC does really amazing work, so thank you for that rundown, especially on personal finance topics. I know in regards to building credit and just trying to become self-sufficient is one of the most challenging things in the United States. So it's very helpful to hear the different resources and avenues that are available to assist refugees and newcomers. So I do want to go ahead and pass it back to Wei Ling and just ask, what are some of the benefits of meeting with a business counselor to assess business needs?
It is very crucial. I would say after you learn, let's say you attend the training or any webinar, you are generally is gaining some knowledge and some idea of how or what to do. However, when you meet up with a counselor on a one-on-one basis, you are going into more detail, in depth of your specific needs. So everybody, it could be the same needs. I want to start a business, but individually, you are very unique. It depends on your capacity, your interest, what is your skill, and where you are at, what is your capital. So meeting with a business counselor will help you to be even more focused. At the same time, the business counselor could be somebody that you're accountable to. So we keep nudging you or pushing you, or maybe you got disappointed. We can become more encouraging, and maybe you have other, when you are talking to a business counselor, you can explore. It's like somebody that can understand you. Sometimes we talk to some entrepreneurs that the family are not supportive. They think that you are giving up a job and you want to start your business, but we never know. When you start a business, the limit is you set the limit. When you go to work, yes, you can bring in a more stable income, but you might not be happy, but you might limit yourself in this position and you're working. So we always want to encourage people think outside the box, but yet it's guided, right? You're guided, you're doing it properly. So meeting a business counselor is definitely a crucial, helping them to take a step at a time, like we guiding you. There is a lamp before you, your path is more clear. That is how I see it, meeting with a business counselor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's also very, very helpful. I think we have time for one more question, and I'm going to pose this to Luke. How does financial coaching help refugees and asylees build self-sufficiency and increase the ease of access to affordable financial resources?
So as far as financial coaching specifically, it is like Wai Ling just said, it's one thing to get that information from a presentation or a workshop, and it's another thing to sit down with somebody, bounce ideas off, really explore the possibilities and get advice and have a conversation that really meets you where you are. So when a refugee signs up for financial coaching and is meeting with a coach for 8 weeks or 8 sessions, the way we do it, it's very different from listening to, if we're talking about a topic like credit. So instead of just sitting there for 45 minutes and hearing somebody lecture at you how this system works, when you're talking with a coach, it's all about dialogue, and these topics are really loaded as well. So, something, debt and credit, there's a lot of emotion attached. There's a lot of history with refugees, maybe experiencing, being in debt in their own country as well. So when you're talking with a coach, you can, we want to know, what are your experiences with this thing? What system are you familiar with in your home country, right? And talking about money, as we all know, is something that's really taboo, right? Even in and maybe especially in our culture. And so building, it's not enough as far as to build good financial habits and build up to a place of self-sufficiency. It's something where having and also like an accountability partner, like Wai-Ling said, somebody to meet with you, weekly, consistently, and walk on that path with you. It's a lot different than just getting that information all at once, because it tends to go in one ear and out the other, as we all know. And there's something very different about having a conversation around money that can kind of go in any direction and meet that person and their goals. And hopefully that also sets the foundation to the part of the question about accessing financial services, right? That having more of a familiarity with banking, with credit, with taxes, and all of that empowers people to better understand what's going on when they visit the bank or when they file their taxes, and just to feel more confidence as well in knowing what they can do and what they can kind of stand up for themselves with when it comes to banks or creditors or anything like that. So it's not just about improving access, but also kind of making sure that our clients are empowered to be able to know how that system works and to kind of be able to assert themselves there as well.
Thank you so much, Luke. I just think this information is so valuable, specifically to refugees and newcomers who don't have the knowledge on how to navigate these very complex systems, to become self-sufficient, to start your own business, because it all sounds so intimidating when there's so many different systems to navigate. And I really just want to extend my gratitude to you both for coming on today and providing that platform, the information on how to build financial capacity and how to start your own business. We also want to thank the audience for joining us on a Friday evening to celebrate World Refugee Day, and also want to remind you that the recording of the show and the panel discussion will be available on Facebook on Sunday, June 20th at 12 p.m. We also want to leave you with a special resource guide to be able to start your own business. It will be sent out to participants who have registered to the event on Eventbrite. So please be on the lookout for that email. You will also get that delicious meal with the different recipes on how to make that at home with your family and friends. And we hope that you're able to enjoy this World Refugee Day as we celebrate and cherish the refugees all around the world. So again, we want to thank you from the Refugee Forum of Los Angeles for joining us tonight.